is around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we are going to be doing a huge roundup of Tottenham Hotspur's January transfer window, including going over every deal that was completed from January 1st to January 31st, going over the contract numbers and the finances and the years and all the close details, our thoughts on each of the moves, as well as our thoughts on some targets that we may have missed out on, some links, and who we need to go for in the summer window when it gets here. We're going to start with the confirmed deals. We're going to start with our only loan in, which was Dejan Kulusevski, a right winger from Juventus, who is a Swedish winger. Did spend a lot of his time on loan for his previous clubs before moving to Juventus and getting consistent game time and getting young player of the season for Serie A in, I believe, the 2019-20 or 2020-2021 season. This is a very good signing.
Kulusevski, a winger that's physical, tall, fast, and also skillful. The only downside is that he's a little one-footed. But he's a great winger. He's our first winger that's fast, tall, and physical and stuff like that. I mean, we have Sonny, but he's our only one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And he doesn't head the ball a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he's tall, doesn't head the ball as much. Probably same thing with Kulusevski, but he has that physical.
Yes. Going back to Kulusevski's history, he was born in Stockholm and represents Sweden at an international level. Dejan joined the youth ranks at Italian outfit Atalanta and progressed to make his senior debut in Serie A in January 2019. He was loaned out at Parma and then impressed enough to make a move to Juve in January 2020. And in the 2020-2021 season was where he really shined. He was a very common regular for Juventus, featuring in every game but 3 of the Serie A matches for Juventus. Also lifted the Coppa Italia for Juventus, scored and provided an assist in the 2-1 victory over Atalanta in the final. Also helped Juventus win the Supercoppa Italiana, and represented Sweden at Euro 2020, including getting a double assist in the group stage game against Poland to progress them into the knockout stages. And during the first half of the current season that we're in, he made 27 appearances in all competitions for Juve, and so far he has made 74 appearances and 9 goals for Juventus, all in all.
Another great thing about this deal is we have him signed for 18 months. So he will go back to Juve if we don't buy him.
Mm-hmm. And the buy option's not that bad. It's $25 million.
Yeah. So if he does perform well, he's a great player to buy.
Yeah.
And it's a good price. How much is it?
About $25 million.
Which is great.
Pounds.
His market value is $36 million dollars, and
it's a very, very perfect
very good
signing.
deal.
Yes. Moving on to our next incoming signing, which was Rodrigo Bentancur, center midfield from Uruguay. He did arrive in North London from Juventus for around 15.8 million Great British pounds. Rodrigo Bentancur has signed a contract with Spurs until 2026. Going to his history, he was born in Nueva Helvecia in Uruguay, came through the ranks at Boca Juniors, and moved to Juventus in 2017, where he lifted 3 consecutive Serie A titles, 2 Supercoppa Italiana titles, and 2 Coppa Italianas. He also featured regularly in Serie A and the Champions League, and actually did make an appearance for Juventus against Tottenham in their meeting in 2017-18 season. Rodrigo has also represented Uruguay since 2017 and represented his country at the 2018 FIFA World Cup, as well as the 2019 and 2021 Copa America. He has had 46 senior caps to his name and will join and did actually participate in a World Cup qualifier as we signed him, scoring an absolute banger of a volley from outside the box maybe 2 days after we signed him.
It's another great deal. Again, his market value is $29 million, but the fee we got him for was $21 million, so another good deal.
Yes, which is around 15 million pounds.
Mm-hmm. He is he's also very tall, which is good. He's physical, 6'2" in height, 24 years old, right-footed. He can play the center midfield, also sometimes play defensive mid and sometimes play attacking, but his primary position is center midfield, and he's a great signing.
He's definitely more attacking than Højbjerg. We can say that. And Skip. Maybe Winks is somewhere around there.
He relates, he makes connections to me a lot with Moussa Dembele. Mm-hmm. He's really like him. Very
powerful midfielder. Very physical. He's fast. He's got some speed to him. Aggression, because he's South American, obviously. When do South Americans not have aggression? He's a winner, champion at Juventus, and he's exactly what we need, that powerhouse in midfield. And with the formation we're going to play, either 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, we need an emphasis on that midfield position, especially defensive-wise, because we're going to be sending our wingbacks straight forward. We need a solid center mid that can hold kind of for Højbjerg. Or like interswitch with Højbjerg. One of them goes up, one of them stays back, or both go up, or both stay back, depending on the opponent and what's going on in the game. But this is an excellent signing.
This is the start of Conte building his squad to how he wants it, with the formation he's going to play. And with these, we're always going to have either 2 or 3 midfielders. Mm-hmm. And they have to be crucial, like you said, because we have the wingbacks running up. They have to be... They're good at defending. But another thing is, I feel like all of the midfielders we have, their strengths are all winning the ball back and charging upfield.
Yes.
I would say mainly Winks and Skip do that a lot, and what I've seen from Bentancur does that a lot.
Yes.
Pierre's more of a back passer, and he works the ball around. We know that,
yep. But yeah, it's a very, very good signing, and one that I think will take us very, very far. Especially, I think that one of the biggest points is, I think, okay, so one point that I'd like to make is that Conte and Paratici have said time and time again that this rebuild cannot be done in one window. Even Pochettino said that when he was there in 2019. So that's why we didn't sign as many players as we did.
And it's a January transfer window.
Actually, 2 is pretty good for January transfer window. And we're scouting out better quality players. We're not getting Bryan Gil again. He's a great player, but
for the future.
Yeah. We're getting at a lower prices.
These guys are young, but
not too young.
Not too young. They're like pretty much in their prime right now.
Maybe not Kulusevski.
Not Kulusevski, but Bentancur, yes. 24 years of age, in his prime.
Yes.
Start of his prime. Start of his peak of his career.
Essentially. Now we're going to move into our loans out. So we're going to start with any outward deals, sending players out on loan. We're going to start with English striker Keon Attete, who was recalled from his loan at Northampton Town to join Cheltenham Town on loan, who are in League One. This is an upgrade from his League Two appearance at Northampton, where he did score 6 goals for Northampton Town in 23 appearances, 17 of those being starts. He has moved to Cheltenham Town, so a league above them. He's made 3 appearances for them already and has gotten an assist, providing an assist for Alfie May as Cheltenham drew 2-2 with Wimbledon in League One. He's a very good striker, very tall. He's going to be, I think, a pretty important player. He's only 20 years of age. He is actually 6'5".
He's going to be great for our future.
He's giant. He's promising. He's got that hold-up play, physicality. 6 goals already for Northampton Town in about 23 appearances, which isn't bad for a youngster like him. So I think he'll do really well at Cheltenham Town. And I'm excited to see how he returns from this after at the end of the season. This is an end-of-season loan, so we'll see him back at White Hart Lane around May 2022. But yeah, I'm excited to see how he does over there. Moving on to our next loan out, Jack Clarke. £10 million from Leeds United in 2019, the summer of 2019, along with that record-breaking transfer window with Giovani Lo Celso and Tanguy Ndombele transferring in. Jack Clarke, just, I believe, 21 or 22 years of age, he's 21 years of age, has loaned out to Sunderland until the end of season. He did not live up to expectations. Let's put it that way. He has not lived up to the place where he should be. And, I mean, I don't think he was exactly worth,
10 million.
10 million, $11 million, whatever it was. We overpaid for him way too much.
That's one thing when we had Poch, we didn't have the best transfer windows.
Yeah.
We were not good with transfers.
No.
As you can see now, especially with Fabio, we're doing way better.
Much, much better. I am pretty excited for Jack. I'm not. Okay. Excited's putting it a bit far, but this loan for Jack Clarke will be very, very important for him. This is going to probably shape out his entire career, especially at Spurs. If he can do well here, he'll probably be able to fight his way into the starting 11. And this is going to be a very, very important loan for the young England right winger. But 11 million.
Too much.
Probably our worst transfer in history. And we signed Eric Lamela for 35 million. And he scored 50 goals. 30. I don't think it even got up to 50. He got more yellow cards than he did goals, which is absolutely shocking. But
the funniest thing about Eric Lamela was that when he scored that Rabona against Arsenal last season, then he went on to get a red card.
That was the most Eric Lamela performance ever.
It's the most South American thing to ever do.
Yeah, and that was his first red card at Tottenham ever.
You would think he had way more than that.
Yeah, he's never even had a double yellow. That's just a shocking stat.
He hasn't had he in history he's never gonna have a straight red at Tottenham.
Yeah, which is kind of incredible when you think about how he plays. Moving on to our next loan out, Mr. Niall John, center midfielder, just 18 years of age, was handed his debut by Jose Mourinho last year in the Europa League. Niall John is going on loan to Charlton Athletic in League One. A higher level loan for Niall John. He is just 18 years of age and he's not even going to the League Two. He's going straight to League One. So this is going to be... He's a very good player. Let's put it that way.
Pretty good.
He nearly scored. I think it was Wolfsburger last year.
Wolfsburger.
Might have been Wolfsburger.
No, it was Ludogorets.
Or Ludogorets. One of those two. It was at home.
It was that Ludogorets game where
Dele scored
Niall John... No. That was Wolfsburger.
Oh, sorry.
It was where Wink scored that absolute screamer.
It was.
And then Scarlett was on Niall John. I don't think it was Niall John who almost scored. It was Scarlett who almost scored.
Yes, Niall John set him up.
Yeah. I think it was Niall John.
They were balling. Those youngsters that we sent onto the pitch, they were absolutely balling out. But he's a very promising youngster. Scored 7 goals this season already in the Premier League. Well, I believe under 23 Premier League. And he's just 18 years of age and he's scoring 7 goals in the U23s. And he's a center mid. He's not center attacking. He's more of a defensive midfielder. Kind of like an 8. Just 18 years of age, as I said. England, yep. So he's going to be a pretty important and pretty good... this is a very good loan, in my opinion. Very, very good loan. Good experience needed for Niall John. And I think I'll come back with boatloads of experience. Hopefully he can tuck away a few goals and maybe move on to the championship next year.
Yeah, maybe.
In his loan. Something like Skip, although Skip didn't go on loan, did he? Skip didn't go on loan. But, except for Norwich.
Norwich, yeah.
He didn't go on loan to League One, but yeah, I think Niall John can follow in his footsteps. He's less defensive, definitely, than Skip. Yeah. Definitely less defensive.
It's like Tanguy.
Yeah, more like Tanguy.
Probably Tanguy, but
basically Tanguy.
Basically.
All right, now we move into Tanguy Ndombele. The French midfielder has returned to Lyon after 3 years at Tottenham Hotspur. It is just a loan until end of season. There is a buy option that has been mentioned. It's not confirmed yet, but the buy option has been mentioned. Just remember, Tanguy Ndombele is Spurs' record signing at 62 million Great British pounds from Lyon in summer of 2019. he has not done incredible at Tottenham at all.
Not really.
He hasn't been what we expected from him. He's been decent, but not great.
See, this is... If Conte sees that they're not going to fit in with their squad, I don't feel like Tanguy will fit in with him, but possibly Gio, who we're going to get on to soon, next, maybe soon.
Yes.
But it's a great way to just get these wages off our hands.
Yeah.
By loaning out players we're not really going to see that often, and instead of, if you want to try to keep them, because if they're going to make an impact in the future, we still want to decide.
Yeah.
It's a great way to get wages off our hands.
Yeah. He has appeared for us 91 times, and he's only gotten 10 goals and 7 assists, which is it's pretty bad.
I have to
for
say,
an attacking midfielder of his capability.
Not really attacking, he's box-to-box.
Yeah, but more attacking than not. And
his form has just been on and off.
Yeah.
Really, I saw him the best under Jose at the start of the last season.
Yeah, that was his best point.
Yeah.
Then he just declined. Will this loan help him get back to his form?
Possibly.
We
just don't know.
I think he'll ball out in France, as obvious. He's always going to do that. But it's all about whether he can bring that form back into Tottenham. Whether he can bring those goals, those assists that we need.
See, it's a big difference, Ligue 1 and Premier League.
Huge difference. Absolutely huge difference. So, if Tanguy Ndombele can impress enough, get his stamina back on track. I know he did say in his first press conference at Lyon that having 5 different managers hasn't exactly gone well for him. Understandable. But I hope when he comes back, he can really prove his worth under Conte, because he's a very talented player. And if Lyon don't activate the buy option, which is around 50 million, I believe, which has been reported, hopefully he can make an impact.
Not to mention, if Lyon do buy him, 50 million is a great price tag to get that money.
Especially at his form.
Yeah.
The way he's performed the last couple of years for us. That will be an absolutely incredible price tag. Moving on to Bryan Gil, the 20-year-old, joined us from Sevilla in July 2021 for £21 million, plus Eric Lamela. He has been loaned back out to Spain, and he's going to Valencia. Good loan for him? Bad loan?
I'd say good.
It's a decent loan for him.
Decent loan. He's more for the future, so it's understandable why we're loaning him.
Only 20 years of age.
And again, we want to get the wages off our hands if we're not going to play him as much. We're out of the Conference League, and we're out of the Carabao Cup. We just have the Prem. We're getting on to the later stage in the FA Cup. Not really going to use those not as great players.
Yeah, the backup players.
Yeah, the backup players. So, yeah. And he hasn't played much this season at all. But what we've seen from him, he's very talented, and he has high potential.
Yes, definitely. Interesting fact. In Bryan Gil's first game for Valencia on loan, he dropped a pretty insane performance, 7.6 rating on FotMob. He completed 5 dribbles, which is the highest amount of dribbles ever completed by a Valencia player on their debut. Incredible. He's basically set a record there. He also he was just pretty good.
I hope he comes off this loan on a high, and he'll be great for Spurs in the future.
If you do want to watch Gil's games in La Liga, you can always check them out on ESPN Plus. They're available there if you are looking to check out how he's doing for the Spanish club. But this is a very important loan for him. I think forcing him into the Premier League and that level of play was too much for him. 20 years of age. He impressed a lot at Eibar last season, but I think he just needs one more loan to really progress his game time. I know he'll get consistent game time at Valencia. I have a very high feeling. And also working together with former Spurs target Eli Moriba, who came from Barcelona to Leipzig, and Leipzig loaned him out to Valencia. Working those two together on the attack will be pretty fun to watch, especially with Eli Moriba's skill level. Moving on to the last loan out, Giovani Lo Celso, who was also was brought into Tottenham in that same summer 2019 window. We did purchase him in January 2020, though. After 6 months of his loan deal had passed by, we activated his £45 million buy option from the loan from Real Betis. More of a flop or less of a flop than...
Less of a flop, I have to say.
I think...
He's had less...
It's slight. Very slight.
Slight.
Very, very
less,
slight.
He's had... The big factor is that he's had less appearances.
Yes.
But off the ball... Not really off the ball, but like... In terms of not scoring and assisting, he's been good. Better than Tanguy. Yeah. And with the dips and ups of form, he's been more consistent.
Yeah.
It's just one thing that's hurt him is injuries.
Injuries have killed him.
Every Argentine,
any South American.
We saw it with, not really, we haven't seen it with Emerson.
Yeah.
But we saw it with...
Lucas had a point. He was injured all the time.
Guti, Lamela, and Gio.
We've seen it with all three. All three have gotten terrible injury records. Well, I mean, we don't know about Guti, but Lamela, we know his injury record. He was out more days than he was in for Tottenham. Lo Celso has had an absolutely terrible injury record for Tottenham. Is it our luck?
I have no clue.
Is it our physios? Is it the way we train?
I don't think it's the way we train, because...
I think it's just unlucky.
It's only Argentines.
Yeah.
Alright, wait, let's see. All those Argentines, where did they,
come from?
Yeah. Did they come
Lamela
from...
came from Roma.
Okay. But
Guti came from Atalanta, and Lo Celso came from Real Betis. So, 3 different leagues.
All from different leagues.
Yes.
Does not make sense. It has to be luck.
It's just unlucky. But Gio Lo Celso has joined Villarreal on loan until the end of the season in the Spanish La Liga. Good move?
Good move.
Good move. Unai Emery really, really wanted him. I think that was widely known. And I think Lo Celso will be an important buy for Villarreal in their quest to... continue getting at the top of the leaderboard. They are in 7, so a little farther behind than where they'd like to be, but I think Gio Lo Celso will find his spot in there somewhere. He's got some Argentine friends there already in Geronimo Rulli, who saved the penalty from David De Gea last season to win Villarreal the Europa League, and Juan Foyth, former Tottenham player, who moved there as well. They're also in the Champions League this season. So this is actually an upgrade for Gio Lo Celso. In all honesty, this is an upgrade. So, I think this is a very good move for Gio Lo Celso. Exactly what he needs. I hope he gets really consistent play time. As we know, his injury record will completely disappear and he'll be perfectly fine and play every single game for them. No, it'll happen. Don't worry. It'll happen. I know. Off the bat already, Gio Lo Celso hasn't even played a game for... Villarreal, but he's already had a pretty top tier performance for Argentina against Colombia in their 1-0 win in the World Cup qualifiers. Dropped a 7.4 performance on FONTMOB and was on the pitch until the 80th minute, and it was a very good performance, although not getting a goal or assist. Lastly, in our moves, transfers out. We're going to start with promising young winger Dylan Markanday, who left Tottenham for Blackburn Rovers at around 500,000 English pounds. I believe there is a sell-on clause, but not a buyback clause, which is shocking, because that buyback clause would have really meant something. We could have seen if he did well in the future, we could have just, nabbed him back. But yeah, he did completely excel at U23 level. Got 12 goals in, I'm not sure how many appearances, but 12 goals in this season alone in the U23 Premier League. And he did make his debut alongside, I believe it was Pacos de Ferreira, or one of those games where Dylan Markanday made his debut. I forget which one exactly. But yeah, he was a very promising winger, but just needed more consistent play time. 20 years of age, so a little on the older side in terms of youth players that we have. Didn't sign any contract offers. I I mean, I get him for, wanting a regular time at his age. Because he's 20 years of age, and he hasn't been loaned out once yet. So I understand where he's coming from. Ignored all our transfer offers, and in the end, moved to Blackburn Rovers for about $500K in the EFL Championship. And on a Spursy note, of course, he had to get injured within 22 minutes of his debut. I believe he's going to be out for like a month or two, or a month and a half. He suffered a really bad injury for Blackburn Rovers. Thoughts on the move?
I think it's just...
I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, we haven't played him barely at all.
Yep.
He's older, and I can see it's a good...
But we should have included the buyback clause.
If he was good, yeah, we could have used him.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that we missed out on, was the buyback clause. And our last transfer out was Dele Alli, who left on deadline day to Everton of the Premier League after 7 years at Spurs. What a career he had at Spurs. What a weird career he had at Spurs.
Very weird career.
Very, very weird career.
I say he was good up until I would say up until COVID.
Yeah. Even under Jose, he was fine.
Above average up until COVID.
Yeah, and then COVID destroyed him.
The restart, up until the restart, that's what I mean.
That killed him, his form. He just started falling.
Never came back up.
Saw
him a little bit with Ryan Mason, went back down.
Very little bit. But this is an important move for him in his career because he's still so young. He's 25 years of age. He can
still definitely revive his career.
Yeah, and Everton's a good move. He's going back to Frank Lampard.
My God, he had a very good career at Spurs.
Yeah, Frank Lampard, who is I believe, former teammate. I'm not sure. Maybe the age is a little bit different. I'm not exactly sure, but that's two English midfielders working with each other. As for the fee, as of now, it's free, but the bonuses could add up to £40 million. £10 million will go to Spurs after 20 Everton appearances, and a further £30 million to Spurs if Dele makes 80 Everton appearances. That second stat is not confirmed. It's just what has been reported. Dele Alli scored 267 goals in 269 appearances from July 2015 when he signed him from MK Dons for £5 million until now when he has departed, and 17 for Everton, who had a decent transfer window, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But, this is a good move for Dele Alli, in my opinion.
What do you think his highlight of his career was at Spurs? Definitely the goal at Crystal Palace.
Goal at Crystal Palace, or his performance in the Champions League semifinal against Ajax. That ball
was a good performance
to set up Lucas for his last goal. Oh my God, the weight on that ball was so beautiful. And it was just a beautiful performance from Dele, even though he didn't get a goal. He was so lively that game. And then the Champions League final came. And then next season he wasn't actually too bad up until the COVID pandemic. Actually, when Kane and Son were out, Dele Alli was probably one of our most important players.
Yeah, literally right before lockdown happened, and COVID. Premier
scored a
League
bunch of goals.
Yeah, Bergwijn was injured, Sonny was injured, broken arm, and Kane had out. That long injury.
Sissoko was out. He was basically playing double duty, midfielder and attacker. Then the pandemic came, and it
was just him and Lucas Moura doing the work.
Yeah, and then he fell off. Could not revive himself. Got multiple chances, I think, last season. But I think it was something to do with his attitude. Maybe he was at Spurs for just too long, surrounded by the same people. But
and the manager changed.
Yeah, hopefully. Pochettino believed in him so much.
Yeah, Jose, he tried to help him, and he was the one that really tried to help him and kind of revive him.
Yeah,
because he had like a little downtime at the beginning of the 1920.
Yeah.
I think he was injured and stuff like that.
Yeah. Contract extensions happened during the January transfer window, and it was a very important one as longtime servant Hugo Lloris has agreed to a 2-year contract extension, keeping him at Tottenham until 2024. It has been 10 years since joining from Lyon in France for, I believe it was £10 million. All-time Premier League record appearance holder. And if he stays until 2024, it'll be 12 years at the Lane for Hugo Lloris. What a player.
Absolute Spurs legend.
Spurs legend. Deserves to be... Statue right now. Statue, why not? Very good player.
He deserves to win a trophy for Spurs. Before he leaves, he needs to lift a trophy at Spurs.
What are we going to lift this season? FA Cup's the only one.
FA Cup, yeah.
We have a chance. We have a chance. Premier League. All I'm saying, it's not over. Man City, drop a few points to Norwich, Watford, and them lot. We're back in the game, baby. Overall finances for Tottenham Hotspur's window. I don't want to sound like one of those techie finance. Oh, yes, they made a 3% increase. No, they lost £15 million this transfer window. They haven't made anything back. Wage savings aren't included. Selling is not included. Dylan Markanday was $500K. Dele Alli we haven't received any pay from him just yet. So our net income for the January transfer window was somewhere around £16 million, not including the loan fee for Kulusevski. Last, I want to go on to links. The potential links to players. We had so many through the transfer window.
See, we missed out on Adama and Luis Diaz.
Yes.
They would have been a far better option than Kulusevski. But Kulusevski is still good.
A good player, yeah.
And we got him for a better price we would get for Diaz.
Yeah. Diaz was supposed to be $50 million.
But what this transfer window, I think we did really well on, was getting those
players
loans out, getting those wages off our hands.
Yeah. Huge deals done by the head of the Tottenham Hotspur.
Another downside is that Luis Diaz is now playing for Liverpool. So now that's a downside for us. He's on one of our opponents.
That's
his team.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah. We also were linked to Vlahovic.
I didn't see that going through. He was just expensive.
Too expensive. Scamacca.
50, what was it, 50, 60 million?
There was that Scamacca guy. There was the whole thing about Ollie Tanner, who was a non-league player from Lewes Town, which is like in the Vanarama North League. We wanted to buy him for $100K, and he apparently turned us down. So we instead decided to go for, Kulusevski and Bentancur. Just 16 million more.
Yeah, just 16 million.
Just 16 million. We were looking at this guy called Josh Savin, who is a goalkeeper.
Just
like
saving
16 years of age.
Saving the goals.
Very good name. Didn't come through. But overall, a decent transfer window.
Yeah.
Additionally, we did have to let go of one of our high-ranking officials. Steve Hitchen did leave the club on February 2nd. And looks like he's actually going to go to Everton as well as their director of football. But I think he just hasn't had enough to do.
Yeah, and with Fabio Paratici in, I feel like, he hasn't had much to do. Yeah. And Fabio Paratici kind of took his job.
Basically, took his job. But yeah, that's it for
One thing that I wish we would have gotten this transfer window is a backup striker.
Oh my God.
That was our number one possibility, and we failed to do that.
Yeah, that was a very big pain because the last backup striker we signed permanently.
I'm not complaining. We got Kulusevski and... it makes sense. Honestly, we don't need one. We just have FA Cup and Premier League. And we have nothing else to worry about. Bergwijn.
He's a good backup striker because that's where he played against Chelsea.
Now.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for our transfer window roundup. If you enjoyed this type of video, please let us know in the description below. Also, comment below.
Setting the new goal for subscribers. 600 by... Let's see. 600 by... No, what am I saying? 500 by...
End of mid-March.
No. Easter.
Easter? No, I think that's it.
500 by Easter.
We should be able to hit that. Please help us subscribe below. Comment down below how you think Tottenham did in this transfer window. What your opinion on their their signings and their loan deals were. And until next time.
Come on, you Spurs!